Good morning, everyone.
Morning, David.
Could be a two-part question, this one. Firstly, the witness, is the witness actionless?
David, can you repeat your question? I couldn't get it.
Is the witness actionless?
Very good question. Actually, this is very right question. Very appropriate. Witness is uninvolved, completely uninvolved. Action is not part of witness at all. But yes, action can happen in front of witnessing. Because what is doing any action? Oh, it's only the body is doing, isn't it? And witness is not the body. That's why we say witness is uninvolved. It is not against action. It is not just staying, because we all identify ourselves with the body. So when the body is not acting, and the way our mind has perceived meditation or any type of practice is that we have to just stay with a spine erect in a stillness and we should not move. But yes, when the actions are so less and unnecessary actions has wiped out from your existence, then mostly there is a stillness even in the body, because you're not just going for things, after things, or trying to fill up your day with appointments or with meeting people or socializing. There's nothing wrong with any of these things, but somehow that energy which was going on in just filling up the day loves emptiness. So in a way, in front of a witness, more actionless state is there. But if the situation or the work demands any work to be done, it will be done. There is no conflict between witness and action. So action will happen. Action has to happen. Look, the body can't just, you can't just be sitting in a cave unless you have no responsibilities or unless there is no demand of the situation. Yes, David.
And you may have partly answered my second part of the question, Sanjay, but seeing that we're constantly being told that we are not the doer, and the witness is actionless or certainly uninvolved, then who or what is doing the action?
This who is the ego which thinks I am doing the action. But when you start witnessing, you realize no one is doing it. It just, things just happens. Everything is just happening.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, that is peace. When there is no doership, but the action is happening. That is peace, because when you think you are doing, then you have all that responsibility of doership. Things just happens, things are happening with that same power which is just taking everything, unfolding in its own way. The same power which is making the sun rise, night come, morning come, all birds, animals, plants, the whole thing, what do you think is coming in front of your eyes? Everything is unfolding in its own way. You can take a claim of that they are all doing their own individual work, but you don't know whether they have an ego or not, whether things are just happening. Same is us as others. Everything is just unfolding. So all these questions, understand, comes from that ego mind, which is still inheriting this essence of ownership. It is very easy, but it becomes so difficult when we take everything from the mind and try to understand only at mind level. You can make this more experiential if you give some pause and just witness things, not witnessing to judge or to analyze, just whatever comes, it is witness. If nothing comes, nothing is being witnessed. You are not there as someone paranoid and have to witness this and this. There is no good word. We lack a good word for this pure awareness. Uh, Actually, it is not doing anything. So that's why we say it is witnessing. But it's not even witnessing. That's not its job to witness. It's not a security guard who is witnessing things. It is just things are unfolding. It is more of an acceptance mode in which you are very settled and contented. As another way to say is action happens, but this witnessing mode is more like a disinterested. It's not against any action, but it is happening, and the results favorable or unfavorable. In both cases, it has no say and accepts what comes. That is what it is. It is more of your own inner peace, which never changes depending on external circumstances.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Thank you. Yes, Valerie, you have to unmute.
Okay.
yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Hello, yes. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. I just don't understand. I can understand cognitively everything you're explaining, and I've been in that space of being just the witness. I know exactly what you're talking about, but even though I understand everything, and when I'm listening to your lectures or anything, it all makes so much perfect sense to me. I know it. It's like I know with 1,000% certainty that it's correct and real and everything. And I mean, it was 2013 when I had my experience where I was everything. I was everything, and I could see everything. It was like it's totally different, and I know what you mean by being that witness from that experience. And I've had many little miniature moments when it's tried to pull me, when I've been feeling that pull back to that state of being again. And because I'm terrified of it, I'm absolutely terrified. As soon as it comes, I go, no. And I even say out loud, like, put me back in Valerie. I've said this out loud because I'm terrified, absolutely mortified to go there. And as soon as I feel that pull, I just immediately just jump up, look at the walls, do anything. I mean, I'll do anything I can to avoid going there because it's horrifying. Because I don't want to be there alone. The aloneness is just deafening to me because it's so. If you are everything, there is nothing else. It's just like devastating. And so it's terrifying for me. But at the same time, I'm trying to get back there. It almost seems insane. I don't understand how I could be trying and know what it feels like and know when I'm getting close to there. And I admit that I pull away every single time, but I still am trying to get back there. But it almost feels, it's the only word I can use to describe it. It feels insane. I mean, daily I'm going nuts. I'm going crazy every day because I'm so constantly thinking about this. I mean, all day that's all I'm thinking about at any moment. And yet I can't, it feels, and I have this really piercing feeling that I'm the only one who's never going to get it. There's just something wrong with me, and I'm like some defect that came along, and I'm like a defect, and everyone else is going, oh yeah, everyone's like, oh me too, everyone's, I'm trying, and everyone else is doing great, and then it comes to me, it's just like, forget that one, everything you're saying, and if I am everything, why in the world would I be doing that to myself? I mean, why would I be doing that? And that's the other thing. I don't understand why life is doing this to me. I don't understand why things are so staggeringly hard. Not only am I trying to, all I care about, this is all I've cared about for years, is this is what I'm, thinking about every second, and then my rest of my life is just falling apart. I mean, just absolutely falling apart. And I'm trying so hard. I'm not trying to complain, but I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. It's like I'm doing something completely wrong or something, because my life is just getting harder and harder and harder, to the point that I'm thinking I'm not going to make it. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to survive this life. It's insane. I don't know. I just understand, and I'm trying so hard, and I feel the truth of it so deeply in my heart that I think I should be able to. And I've been so close. I mean, I've been there. I say I've been there because what I experienced was I'll never forget in my life. It changed. It was just like, like a huge, just it was the best I've ever felt in my life. I never ever was. And the thing that's going on simultaneously is I felt more content, more like I belong, more like this is me, more like, yes, completely accepting it than I've never felt anything like that in my life. At the exact same moment, I was terrified. Simultaneously, both those experiences were going on during that moment in 2013. And then when I have those little bouts since then, I've had probably about 6 of them, that I feel that pull back again. I start getting close to that state of being again, and I jump up and go, no, it's like panic. But I know it's working against me, and then my life is just it's everything in my daily experience of life, and I know you're not supposed to pay attention to it, to be an observer. Well, how it's so hard to observe when your life is crumbling? When your life is crumbling, I'm not talking like having a bad day. I'm talking about not having one penny to my name, living in a tool shed. I mean, it's horrible stuff. It's really getting unbearable trying to survive. And and I think, why am I bothering to try and help the ego thing survive if that's not really what I am? It's like I don't understand anything. I'm just getting more and more lost. I just don't understand.
Look, all the experience what you had, that experience came in that awareness. And your mind is calling as an experience, though it was your reality. And then the mind is the one who is saying that I'm longing for it, I loved it. And then the same mind says the opposite. You can't trust this mind. It gets terrified because it loses its power on you when you are that pure awareness. When you are not a person, there is no role of mind left. So the mind is split into two and talks from both sides. It is an advocate for this opening and also against it. And that is the delusion of the mind itself. And I'll tell you, this thing, to get that experience back, is the trap. So please don't go even near that I want that experience. Because your mind has now created it just as an experience. And experience has no value. I understand what you are saying. It was that reality in which the veil was gone and you were everything. But when the mind returned, for mind it was just an experience. And if you hold on that I need to go back to that experience and get that experience, you will never get it, because it is the trick of the mind which will always keep that moment as an experience. And I'll tell you, whatever beautiful experience you have, if it is a transient phenomena, it is of no value. So whether it was terrifying or whether it was blissful, it has no value, because it comes and goes, and you are not that which comes and goes. The second part of your question, or the situation around you which you are saying is really bad. How can you witness when the life is just crumbling and it's a mess and nothing is working? Again, it is ego which is identifying the situation around you with your body, with your things, as your own situation. Here, there is a strong identification with the body, mind, and the situation around. There's a lot of identity is there. I can understand that you opened for a while and then you had shorter glimpses, but then the mind took over, and now for it is just an experience, and for it there can be an opening, but you don't want an opening, and this whole life is you. What is happening around you, what's happening with the body, it is taking ownership of everything. And then same mind is saying, how can you be witness when there's so much of going around you? And I'll tell you, these are all traps of the mind itself. And to be out of it, you don't have to do anything for any reason. And look, wherever you are, whatever the situation is demanding, even if you can't witness, but at least we all can use our intellect, our knowledge, our whatever best we can make out of it, and try to do it. But don't be attached with the results and what the outcome would be of the situation. Try to understand that that situation is not you, and it is only affecting mind. Ego is nothing but it's the component of mind itself, which thinks that I am in this situation, I am suffering. But I'll tell you, even if that suffering is going on and you can't detach yourself from the suffering, just accept that moment as it is. Like, if you can do something about it, just do it, but just accept the whole situation as it is. That will give you more contentment rather than verbalizing it as your own situation.
Okay, so when you're talking about my daily life, when I'm going through a situation, a stressful situation in my daily life, just observe it and say, okay, you're going, this situation is happening, and just observe that it's happening, and deal with, obviously I'm not going to sit there immobile and not do anything. So as my ego is telling me to do something for the situation, I'm going to get up and do it and such, but just be the observer watching myself get up and do something, and just kind of like sit there and go, okay, now just watch everything happening, and just doing that.
Yeah, look, we all have some sort of skills in dealing in every situation. Try to do it, but don't take everything on a personal level as it is happening to me and then reacting it. Be more responsive and humble and accepting the situation. Acceptance of situation, actually, I'll tell you, resistance to the situation creates more issues than acceptance of the situation. Acceptance doesn't mean that you will not take the right action. Acceptance means just accepting the moment humbly and honor even the bad situation, honor that situation, and then work as more of a response rather than reaction to it. Reaction comes from the ego and it has resistance, it doesn't want that situation. But when the situation is there, we have to deal with it. Resistance doesn't help at all. Resistance actually boosts up the ego only and causes more suffering. So, path of freedom is the path of no resistance, because nobody wants a bad situation in their life, even as ego, or mostly as ego. We want everything should just go according to my wishes because I am the boss, I deserve, or whatever the ego says. But then situation doesn't come that way. Sometimes wars are imposed on us when we are not interested in it. Things happens in which we have no control, like natural calamities or whatever it happens. Who creates that? It just comes, situation happens. But you, as which is unhappy with the situation, creating your own small world, doesn't happen. You just respond to the situation, but not as a person, as that's just things have to happen. As the situation has come, so there might be some way to sort it out. But don't act as a person all the time. That is trap. Even the same mind is resisting to go into that blissfulness. The same mind is looking for an experience, and same mind is saying, no, that was very frightening. So in all situations, understand it is the mind which is playing games in different ways, confusing you, creating stress. Even how bad the situation is, you can start witnessing at some level. I can't believe that the whole day the situation is like that no witnessing can happen. Maybe early morning, at the end of the day, maybe when you have sorted out some stuff of it, and then you can sit and you can see where you are. How bad the situation can become, it cannot touch what you actually are. It can only touch the one who believes he's in trap. Understand, that is the problem. So even in
I understand that. It makes perfect sense to me. And yet I do it anyway. That's what makes me feel like I'm going insane. I understand. I hear you perfectly. But I can't do it. I can't, it makes no sense.
Now, if I start talking like Bhagavan will ask this question only: who is this I? Go to the source. Who is this I? I can't do it. I. Who is this I? Where this sentence is coming from? From where are you saying this word? I can't do it. Who is this I? Where are you talking from? Are you talking from that absolute I, which is uninvolved witness? Or are you that ego which is saying, I can't do it?
Yes, I'm the ego when I'm saying that. It seems to me that I'm definitely 100% ego when I'm saying that.
Yeah. But you don't have to identify with whatever ego or whatever it is. You can, if you put this question within you, that will silence a lot of these thoughts. Because you don't want to be that. And this ego has created so much of suffering, isn't it? So why would you like to stay in that bubble of ego? When you are saying I can't do it, just put this question within you at the source and see whether it can be tested at the level of where you are only a witness or a presence, not a person, and the question will disappear, or whatever your agony with the situation will disappear. It is more of your internal practice, in a sense, if you call it a practice, but it is more bringing everything to that, bringing everything for that scrutiny, examination. I don't know if anyone can help me. Kasauti. What is the proper English word for this? Kasauti. Like, I think examining at that level, like scrutinizing whatever is coming out of your thoughts, bringing to that witnessing box and seeing whether it can stay there. I'll tell you, nothing can stay there. Everything will just wipe off when you see from that awareness, not as a person. At a person, lot of things can stick to us, because you can say my intention is pure, this is what I do, people are cheating me, this and that. This all stories of the body, mind, word, situation. It has nothing to do with that awareness. Tell me what will happen to the situation around you which is causing suffering when you leave this body. When the body becomes dust, what will happen? Who is answerable to whom? What happens when you go to deep sleep? What happens with the situation around you? What happens with the situation when you start dreaming at night? Then there is a different situation around you. Understand, this all is a transient phenomena. It's like waves of unreality which keeps changing. Because we think we are this, suffering sticks to us and then we want to get out of it. This all is a big trap. Understand that if you start witnessing, witness at the time when the mind is much more settled. If the mind is really huge and you never see any opening in it, then let that situation get more settled, and then you might be able to do that. It could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months for someone. But understand that you are nothing what is happening around you. Your identification is creating more issue than anything else. If you stop identifying, even with the same situation, there'll be no suffering. Your identification with the thing, with this body, look, these words look very heavy, and then the ego or the situation is not changing, and the ego is attached to the situation. And whatever words I tell you, it's not able to hear that, because there is this veil of so many incessant thoughts which are saying, but what about my situation? But who is saying that? What about my situation? Who is this my? Is it that source saying that my? Or is it? So understand.
Doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. So what I'm saying to you is, if you go a bit backward, recede from this action-packed drama, the one who is owning it, to the one, the same energy, you can bring it back home and start witnessing. Sometimes the freedom comes when we think in our mind that I'm completely helpless. When all this doer, and I can do it, I can prove I am an achiever, and I can sort out this I, when it hits the wall, sometime opening comes. Because now it knows that it has used all its tricks and it can't sort out. And it puts its hands up, or it surrenders. And that surrender is so much of contentment.
I feel like I'm going to be stuck here forever. I mean, this has been going on for how many years now? I understand everything you're saying. And I also know that witness never goes away, because I have seen from the witness when I've been in life and death situations, and I was completely calm, just watching it with zero reaction. When I switch into that view, when it was very, very, very serious situation, it was very calm. So I know I can be there, but I can't get there.
Look, again, it's the trick of the mind, which can say, I can be there and all this. What have you done to be there? Tell me what you did to be there when it happened.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So why don't you start doing nothing now? Why don't you start doing nothing now? Why you want to be a doer? When it came to you, you were nothing. And now you want to do something to be there. Understand, something will never take you to nothing. Because that is that nothingness which only nothingness can make you there. No doing can bring you there. That is why I am saying, please take out from your mind that you want to be there again. There is no going there or coming back. It is only the mind's trick. It is not that you go there and you come back from there. It is nothing like that. It is just the play of the mind. So if I say that you don't do anything, then you have to be in that nothing only, and don't do anything to be there. Start practicing doing nothing. It is answer. It is like an auxiliary to the previous question, what David was asking about action and witnessing. It's not paradox. So you can be witness and action is happening. You can start staying in that nothingness again, and see, when you stay like that, all this mind attack and all this coming to your mind, and just give some time, give pause, give gap between this witnessing and this. And Valerie, I'll tell you, if you practice this, because it would be a practice for you, given that there's so much going on, but give it a chance, and I'll tell you, you will start feeling this gap, this distance between you and all this, what is happening in the mind and the body and the situation. But keep quiet, in a sense, just stay in that peaceful silence rather than in the mind thoughts, which looks like a big huge cloud and there's no gap between you and mind.
Right. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
And we'll talk again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Vinitji, you want to ask something?
Hi, Sanjay ji. Thank you. That was, it brought back Valerie's experience, brought back, situations in my life. But it goes back much further than 2013. It goes back to when I was in school in 1968 in Hong Kong. And, at that time, I experienced the same peace, but the circumstances were also much easier than happen when we start working and we have responsibilities and, at that stage you have parents who look after everything and you have a very sheltered and lovely life. But, the reason why I brought this point up is Valerie said that she finds that it's fearful actually to go back to that tangible thing that she can remember of her life. I actually look that as something tangible which I can see, and I know what that peace looks like, and I know what my ultimate experience that of where I want to be in, just be again now. So I was just wondering about your, your view about the tangibility being actually a help or not.
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
So, I know what it means to just be.
Who
right?
knows? Who knows it? Who knows it?
Yeah, I know. My mind knows it.
Yeah,
I know what you you said to Valerie that you.
No. Let's talk about.
Mind.
Let's talk about you.
Yeah.
What do you say when you say your mind knows what that is?
So mind and my whole being knows. Mind is a part of it, but my whole being knows what it is to just be peaceful, and not how the external experiences don't affect me anymore. Right? I know that is how that is to be. So when I meditate, I often look back at that, and as though I know, and I feel that same just be when I'm meditating.
Okay,
that's what I meant.
I need to tell you this. This is again the domain of the mind in which make you feel. I know that it makes me feel. This is the thing. Mind makes your realization as a small experience, and it wants to go back again to the same experience. And look, this is the biggest trap in all seekers. They have some opening, they get a response, and then they think it was an experience. They think means that there is a mind which is only a thinker, and we think we are that thinker. And it puts this question that I know what tangible, what it is. I know I can be there when I want to. I had it in 1968. And when I sit in meditation, I can experience it. And I know how it feels, and I feel the same what I had in. Then it just makes it so small that it is like a blissful or peaceful experience or contentment. And you can get it when you meditate, and you can switch off when you're not meditating, or when the situation is really bad, then it gets worse. how small, how it belittles your existence, your infinite existence. Your mind makes it like an experience. It belittles it. It's not a hell, it is the obstacle. Understand this truth, because all our life, I know so many people I have spoken, they meditate, they do some practice, they get something out of that practice, and then they move out with big egos. I can do it, I have done it, I can achieve, it is in my control. It is not a thing, it is not an experience. This is what the mind does to such a beautiful opening, because I'll tell you what happens is, whatever experience anyone had was actually not an experience, it was reality. But for mind, it is an experience. And mind, when mind calls it an experience and then you long for that experience, in both ways it is a big trap. Because then mind will always put it into category of experience and will settle for some moments which you call as meditation, and then you feel some bliss, you content, and this is the way mind can escape its own death. Because now mind is accomplice in your freedom. Mind is saying, I always take you there when you want, then why do you want me to be out? And then the mind will talk, I had that experience and now I can go back there and I know what it is. Understand, even Vinitji, when you started talking, you said, my mind and being is all same, because that's the way mind just wants to stand with you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
How tricky it is.
Yes.
It will give you everything what you want in your terms, but it does not want to leave you.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't leave you, it will create moments of bliss which it calls an experience and will tell you this meditative technique will get you there. I have to tell you one thing, and it is for everyone, that please don't call it an experience. Though whenever this opening happens, it for mind, because mind is not there when it happens and mind comes later, and mind cannot have any clue except feeling some bliss out of it. So the mind calls it an experience, though the mind was not there. Exactly like in our deep sleep, when you are sleeping, there is no mind. But when you come out of the deep sleep, relaxation and bliss of that sleep, which mind says, oh, I relaxed, and it was so nice. It just calls it an experience, though it was not there. I'll tell you, what you are and what we all are is not an experience, and it does not come and go. Anything which comes and goes is not us. Definitely for mind, that can be an experience. So longing for an experience is a trap, and then saying that I can go in and I can come out is, again, it's all coming from the domain of mind, which it creates for us to satisfy our ego. Because ego wants things in its own terms, that if I can do this, I can do this. It is not in my control. It is only, that's why anyone who gets, everyone calls it grace, because how it happens, nobody knows. Ask anyone that when it comes, it just happens without doing anything, as Valerie was pointing out. It is exactly, this is what it is. And I will say you, once you hit, reality, oh my God, it is so hard not to go back there. For the mind, it is like mind blowing. Actually, it blows the mind. There's no mind there. But to get there again, you have to be that no thing. When you are nobody, no body, no thing, no mind, is that state. And to be in that, how can you be in that? Again, we come back to the same thing, that don't give any work to the mind, and you are that. And what is work to the mind? I want to do, I want to achieve, I want to. Look, things will happen around you. It is your internal where you are, either you are operating as a witness or as a doer within you. It is your own internal standing which decides whether you are in bliss or whether you are suffering. Again, come back to what Bhagavan says is so beautiful. Keep quiet. Keep quiet only means you take help from the source. Source is only silence. It does not talk. It does not do any self-talk. Don't think all these thoughts coming to your mind are serving that pure self. How can this serve pure self? It is witnessing whatever happens or not happens. All these thoughts and all these techniques and everything is actually serving only ego. Ego which thinks I am this body-mind complex. And the thing is, the most petty thing is, it creates that opening only as an experience. It is not an experience. And because that thing has come out of the blue so big, we think whenever it will happen, it will be huge, like again something I will. But when it happens, it can be a very slow process of unwinding and understanding that whatever happens or not happens, nothing changes me. It is my real formless form in which I always exist. So I am not dependent on my mind. I am also not dependent on any technique or any meditative practice. All techniques are only to get rid of what you are not to achieve that experience or that state. That is always there. It is like when you give up or you don't identify with all the mind stuff, then you are only that. You are nothing else. And that state, to be in that state, just mere understanding is enough. There is no need for any practice. I'll tell you one thing about most of the practices, with respect to all sorts of practices, they don't finish the ego. They don't finish the individual. They keep the individual ego alive, because you meet people who are serious meditators. They come out, they say, oh, today I had a beautiful meditation. It was so nice. It was so blissful. That is the thing. Mind creates whatever it is as an experience, and it will take you there for half an hour and 1 hour, and then you go out in your car and you play your ego roles, stay as ego. And sometimes people who supposedly are doing meditation and getting some blissful experience, their ego stays and sometimes gets bigger. Because we have to be at source, that's all. And to be at source, don't be where you are just a fictitious person. Then you don't have to look for any contentment and bliss and peace. This all is, you don't even have to look for any blissful experience. When we are not longing for any type of experience, then what is left is that only. And it's not that staying in awareness or as witnessing things, situation is always beautiful. It can be even much worse. There can be a disease to the body or the people around you or the situation. But it has, but that witnessing accepts everything as it is. It does not pick and choose. Though that absolute can pick and choose for that awareness in its own mysterious ways, which sometimes people even call as miracles, happens. But it has acceptance to every situation the way it is. Though we had a blissful experience whenever it happened, which mind calls as blissful, that was grace. And when the grace dawns on us, then remembering that tries us, we try, even though we try as ego or mind to be there. But the best way to be there again is by doing nothing.
So, Sanjay ji, we are visual people. And it becomes much easier to be to know and be, as you say, if we have a bit of or clarity or tangibility. I just go. I know that your explanation is very, very helpful. I still feel that for me it's a bit easier if I have tangibility or visualize, where I'm headed. So again, I'm just wondering if you could comment on that.
Look, I don't have to comment. If your mind has already thought that this is the technique and that's what you want to do, then go ahead. Then you are not asking me question. You are asking me to say, yes, you are right.
Yeah, that's true. I realize I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. That blissful awareness which is here right now within you, in and out and everywhere. This word can finish, everything can dissolve, but that blissful awareness does not come and go. It is not inside the body or outside the body, it is everywhere. It is not a thing. It is not to be gained. And it is not to be lost. And it is not anything other than you. Thoughts comes and goes. Bodies comes and goes. Situation changes. This eternal bliss is unchanging. This unchanging awareness, which is you, has no clue about your body, about your mind, about your situation, about all the drama that mind is doing to be back. It even doesn't know that. It does not speak. Its language is only silence. And it is you. Practice silence all the time, especially when the situations are really, really drastic and bad. Because that is the time, if you have patience and you adhere to silence, you can enter into this openness of awareness. You can transcend this mind. If you want to enter into it as an experience with mind, it is very deceiving. Valerie?
Sorry, I have to learn how to do this. Okay. How do you do that? how do I do that? You say just do it. How do I do it? I'll do it.
Nobody can
But
do
then
it.
again, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do it. I can't do it.
Nobody can do it. No body and no mind can do it.
Every single time I've had any experience, I call experiences, but these things that happened, I was doing nothing. Like zero. Wasn't even thinking anything. Walking across the room to go pick something up off the shelf. I mean, nothing. I wasn't doing anything.
That is the biggest clue, Valerie, that don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't be a doer. When you are not a doer, you are that. Understand this. And the situation around you is making you more as a doer, and then you want to get out of it. You can't get in or out of it. It's only mind talk which says like that. And that is the reason a lot of meditative practices makes you more calm, more settled, but does not get you to the freedom. Because they are doing it, every day they do it. People say, I have attended 20 Vipassana camps, or I do 3 hours of meditation in morning, 3 hours in evening. Then I do 100,000 japas every day. I never goes and doing continues. So I stays, doer stays. What can you do? Answer to all these questions in your own experience, Valerie. The way you got it, spontaneous, grace, doing nothing. Doer has to go. Doer has to dissolve. Whatever practice can make you dissolve is right. And whatever practice keeps you there is not good for you. So just be that. I think we are asking questions after questions. Give pause. People as doubters have so many questions, but give some pause. Stay in that place of silence for some time. And try to Hear everything from your heart rather than giving everything as mind food. I think Vijay wants to ask anything.
Namaste, Sanjay.
Namaste. I can't see you. It's pitch dark on your side, I believe.
Yes, sorry, it's about 3:30 in the morning and I'm lying down.
Okay, tell me, what is your question?
Yes, well, it's not a question. Sanjay, I just want to thank everyone that spoke today. I have been in chronic pain since last Sunday because I have this sciatica pain that is shooting from my hip down to my thigh and my foot. And really, this has been the best conversation ever. And, I watched your satsangs for a while, about a month or two, and they always empty me immensely. But today, it is a different shift altogether, and I just rest with this gradual unwinding that you have spoken. And I just want to say a very big thank you to everyone that spoke today, really. I mean, everything for me, what they were calling this experience, I also had something similar in 2016. And I just know that was the start of my awakening process, and it has just continued, and it's been a gradual unwinding. Today, I feel at home and at peace. So just thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. Hope you recover fast so we can see you.
If you can speak a little bit about chronic pain, just a minute or two, when you are in that situation, what do you do? That will be maybe some benefit.
Again, our identification with the body will make you suffer with pain, and you're not identification with it. Pain would be there. I can't say that the body will not feel pain if you don't identify. But there'll be no suffering. You just accept whatever it is. It is. If you can do something about it, you can do it. Your identification creates suffering. That's what I would say. So, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. It's just
everyone.
a very minor part now. The rest of the satsang has been so rich. So thank you. That's enough.
Thank you.